Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name's Dave Burning.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
Well, I see you haven't shaved.
No, I told you yesterday I wasn't going to shave until the Cubs win their first game of the year. That didn't happen yesterday, so I didn't shave.
They didn't win, did they?
No.
My Tigers did.
Yeah, they played in
snow.
Snow, bad conditions. Snow.
Sounds like they said played in the snow, so I didn't really know. But yeah.
I did see the one highlight of Miguel Cabrera hit the first home run of the season in the Detroit game, and he lifted it up into the snow, and he actually slid into second base because he couldn't tell if the ball had left the yard or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well.
But no, we'll hope that the Cubs maybe win over the weekend, and I'll come back cleanly shaven on Monday.
That would be good.
Okay.
Kansas City win?
They were ahead at one
a
high-scoring game. Last I heard, they were ahead 10-8 or something against Texas. Listened to a little of that going home, but
Colorado win?
I believe so. Yeah, they upset the Dodgers. Beat the Dodgers on opening day.
Good.
Yeah.
Hope they whip the Dodgers all year long.
Never know.
You never know, Mr. Crawley. All right, it's 7:33, and we got a good show lined up for you today. We're excited. We're going to be celebrating an anniversary of Grazer Solution and Supply today. Mr. Jenkins will be in, and we're looking forward to that. And then we have Rick Nelson on tap here, Custer Public Power. He is going to be here around 8:30 or so this morning, and some other things that we want to talk about. I did want to, again, it was on the news this morning. We happened to go to North Platte yesterday, and I was sitting out in the parking lot of a business, and my wife and grandson were inside, getting some braces readjusted. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I'll see what stations I can listen to. And I always find myself trying to listen to the stations from here. And there weren't any stations, including our FM, that were coming in at all. Mm-hmm. And so I punched the old 1280 AM button, and there we were, Casey and I. And I was listening to some country music, and then I heard your report about the fire in outside of Arnold, and we saw the smoke on the way through yesterday and thought, something happened. Maybe a fire got out of control for a pasture or something like that. But unfortunately, it was the home of some citizens there, Tullis family, and so we stopped on the way back and dropped off a donation at Arnold on the way through. And they already had quite a bit of clothing piled up and some money in the jar, and they got right to it. But, they lost everything. Yeah. So the story is on Sandals Express with details on clothes sizes, shoes, and that sort of thing. Or if you just want to make a monetary donation, there's all that information there for you to get that family rebooted and going again. But they lost everything, so we can give them a hand. And, unfortunate. That wind was blowing pretty hard yesterday, and I don't have any more details than that, but you could see the smoke up here on the table coming across. So, with that wind and everything, we met the Stapleton Fire Departments come to help, and actually met them on the way back home. They were coming home, so they had to stay for a while, but the damage was severe. So a family in need in our listening area, and we can give them a hand.
Absolutely.
So check that story out on Sandals Express. Gavin did a good job of gathering up all that information for you, so you can make a donation and help your neighbors out going into this Easter weekend. This is a Good Friday,
Yes,
very
it is.
important day, so that kicks off the Easter weekend certainly, and then this is also National Walk to Work Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you walk to work today?
No, I haven't walked out here for quite a long time. I've done it, but it's been a long time, and it wasn't because we wanted to walk. It was other circumstances. I don't really like walking on this highway very well.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, good point.
But anyway, it is National Walk to Work Day, so even if you just commute from the bedroom to the kitchen, if you're working at home, decades of medical research have shown that walking is one of the very best ways to stay healthy. You don't need any equipment. You don't need to have a special equipment of any kind. You just get out and walk. Make sure you got good shoes, like we talked about yesterday. Also, a very important day. This is International Fact-Checking Day.
Oh, fact-checking day.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's kick fake news in the rear end because there are tons of information out there that's misinformation, and they just go on to tell us here this morning, make it a habit to double-check the origin of all the news you read and you see on social media. That makes sense. I have a little guideline I'd like to throw in. If it's a forwarded message to you, consider that this is forwarded by somebody who actually feels strongly about what they sent to you and forwarded to you, or they didn't even read it.
No.
They just thought, oh, I read the first few lines. I think so-and-so would like to read that, and they forwarded. I think a lot of the problems we have with social media is the forward button. I didn't really read that very carefully, but I think I'll send that to Joe Blow and see how he feels about it. And then Joe Blow sends it to the next guy, and they see how they feel about it. And pretty soon, it's just being forwarded. So it's a good idea to double-check the source of where your news comes. And then with that thought in mind, I read this morning where Facebook is going to offer a new filter. And I'm not sure if this is a good thing or not, a new filter so you only get what you want.
Oh.
And I can see the good side of that, where you go, I don't want all of that nonsense. I want just the information about, my grandma. But it also then kind of puts you in a tunnel of information. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But look for that filter. It's on the way.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes out.
Okay. Speaking of internet and social media, you folks out there can watch The Breakfast Show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And that's happening right now. We're waving to you right now. Hi.
And apparently soon you can filter this too, apparently.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch it.
Just put that in the filter.
And actually, you don't have to right now if you don't want to.
That's a good point.
You don't have to pull it up. It's on Sandals Express and comes to you on those other platforms as well. And we want to thank Viera Wireless for being a part of the show today and helping us out with other projects that we have. Now, right now, we're not sure where their office is here in town because they moved from their previous location. So we would recommend that you just call this national number right now and get information about all the Viera services. That number is 877-484-2376. Also, don't forget about April 6th, which is, I didn't change the counter. What's April 6th?
Tuesday, I think.
Let me pull that off.
Well, what's today? The 2nd? Yeah, so 3rd, 4th, 5th, Tuesday.
Yep, you're
Tuesday.
Right. Tuesday of next week, April 6th, the Farm to Table USDA will be here again through the Rotary of Broken Bow and also the Jenny M. Melham Hospital, the City of Broken Bow, and Broken Bow Wind 2 volunteers are going to be making sure that there is food and milk passed out on April 6th. Distribution begins at 9 a.m. at the Melham parking lot across from the swimming pool next to the soccer fields. You can enter the access road to the swimming pool off Memorial Drive coming from the east. Do not enter the line before 8:30 next Tuesday. Organizers have a large semi to unload and get, kind of organized. And it will be first come, first served distribution. No sign-ups, no names will be taken. The boxes will contain fruit, vegetables, dairy, and processed protein. And for additional information, you can go to brokenbowrotary@gmail.com and request information on that email address. That's taking place next Tuesday. This should be the final day of sewer jetting here in Broken Bow. So the toilet seats will probably quiet down a little bit after today. But we'll get an update on that if they didn't get it all done. But they've been doing that all week, making sure the sewers are clear. And they've have some suggestions for you if they happen to be in your neighborhood, what to do. You can look that up on our website. And let's see, yesterday was National Burrito Day. I guess that's in the past, but Taco John's had a big special going on yesterday. I saw a lot of cars out there taking advantage of that. Anything on your end? Sports?
I think so. Sports. Yeah, we got results posted of a couple of area events that happened yesterday. Sandhills Valley, the sports co-op between Stapleton and McPherson County, hosted their boys golf invite at Augusta Winds, just outside of Stapleton. And so we got results of that posted for you, a little story on that. And then Mullen hosted their annual track invite yesterday in Arnold. And so we got the results of that and a story posted for you. You can check it all out on sandhillsexpress.com.
All right. And we have Husker baseball, as the Husker baseball team is pretty hot right now. And they have a 3-game series. Does that begin today, right?
Today, yes. They play at Illinois. As of now, the opening game is scheduled for 6, tomorrow's game at 5, Sunday at noon. We're going to broadcast all 3, and coverage will begin a half hour before game time.
All right, so we'll be covering that for you this Easter weekend. 37 degrees currently here at Broken Bow under a mostly clear sky. The weather should continue to get better as we roll along through this very special holiday weekend. But we do want to urge you to be careful. I know there'll probably even be some, maybe even some camping going on this weekend, as nice as it's going to be. But be careful, please, about open fires. I know that Jason Baum, our head of fire department here, is asking you not to have open fires right now. It's just too dangerous. It's kind of dry out there. This time of year, we never know when the wind's going to come up or change directions. And we're going to be up to maybe 85 on Sunday.
Yeah, wow.
So that's going to be nice, but there is a downside to that, and that's just going to make things a little bit drier than it already is. Even though we had all that rain in March, we hadn't had too much towards the tail end of the month. And, of course, this is early April, but we haven't had anything so far this month of April as well. So that's some of the things going on here this morning. We're going to play the game here in just a little bit. And, again, we'll have the school lunch menus for you after Easter when the mail comes in and we get all of those rounded up. A lot of the kids are taking today and Monday off in our area schools. So have fun, young people out there. Get out and enjoy the weather with your families. Here's Brent with a question for the day.
All right, we're asking questions about soap operas because it was on this day in 1956 that As the World Turns and The Edge of Night aired on CBS, and they were the first half-hour soap operas that were aired. So here's your question today. Until the 1960s and 70s, all soap operas were filmed in New York City. In these decades, many of the shows moved to California for production. What was the reason for the change of production in venues? That's your question. Here's your choices for the answer. Number 1, the weather was nicer. All the actors wanted to live in California. They went from live broadcast to filming episodes, or the cost of living was less. In the 1960s and 70s, a lot of the soap operas were filmed in New York City, but in these decades, many of the shows moved to California for production. What was the reason for that? The weather was nicer. All the actors wanted to live in California. They went from live broadcast to filming episodes, or the cost of living was less. If you know, call us at 872-2801.
Are your aches and pains preventing you from doing the things you love? Call Team Physical Therapy 872-5111. We offer complete one-on-one physical therapy for you. Call Team Physical Therapy 872-5111. Team Physical Therapy is known as the best hands in town, and we will help you achieve your goals and keep you moving in 2021. Call Team Physical Therapy 872-5111 or check us out on the web at myteampt.com.
It's an awesome time of year. The Secret Garden is so excited for gardening season. Right now, save 15% off anything pink, including plants and new inventory. Plus, prepay for your plants right now and pick them up in May. They'll be open this Saturday from 8:30 until 4:30, 2 1/4 miles west of Myrna on Highway 92 and a half a mile north. The Secret Garden. John 14:6. Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
When you choose ACE as your natural gas supplier, you receive more than a competitive natural gas rate. Community-owned ACE returns revenue to communities for projects such as a recreational trail in Albion and park improvements in St. Paul, Ravenna, Ord, and Broken Bow. Get a competitive rate and support local communities. Choose ACE during this year's Extended Choice Gas Selection Period, March 18th through April 22nd at aceenergy.org. ACE, heating homes, powering communities.
Well, that's a tough one.
Yeah. I'll just give you the answer today. The reason that they moved from New York City to California for production of soap operas was they went from live broadcast to filming episodes. That was the main reason that they did it.
Oh, okay.
Although I would think that maybe a lot of the actors did want to live in California. That still could have been part of it. But anyway, that was the official answer. They went from live broadcast to filming.
Okay. It's 1970s pop music day today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. What inspired you to go that direction this morning, can I ask?
I was just thinking this morning over on KCNI when I heard an old Merle song on the countryside from the late 60s, early 70s, how much different country and pop was at that time. And they had an occasional crossover. That's kind of what popped into my brain. So then pop, P-O-P, pop.
Yeah, right.
70s. Yeah. So that's how I got started.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, hey, yeah.
As interest rates remain at fantastic lows, now's the time to update your space, refinance your current mortgage, or purchase a new home. Give us a call or visit us at bruningbank.com. Bruning Bank, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS 473773. Member FDIC.
7:53 is your time. Good morning to Steve Hornickel, who has keyed in and said good morning to us. Thank you, Steve. Have a great weekend yourself. We appreciate that very much. Broken Bow Housing Authority is looking for an executive. This is quite an opportunity for somebody out there who has experience in business and has a degree or two in that area. And they will be taking applications until this is filled. And I may have pulled something up that Brent doesn't have here.
I have it.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Broken Bow Housing Authority is currently looking for an executive director. The Housing Authority manages 40 apartments and 45 homes located in the city of Broken Bow, and also 20 apartments at Husker Homes in Ansley. The candidate should have a passion for quality customer service and a solid knowledge of a regulatory environment. Applicants must have a high school diploma or equivalent, also a degree in business or public administration, finance, and or experience in a related field is preferred. You can submit a one-page letter of interest and a resume that includes salary history and 3 professional references. You can submit those documents to the Broken Bow Housing Authority, 825 South 9th Avenue, Broken Bow, Nebraska. 68822 is the mailing address, or you can just drop it off in person if you like at the Broken Bow Housing Authority.
Happy birthday to Emmylou Harris today. She is 74.
74.
74.
Wow.
Multiple Grammy-winning country singer and writer. And she's played with all kinds of different artists over the years. She really compliments people that she plays with. I think of people like Neil Young and some of the folks on the rock side that she's performed with. But she certainly is very talented, basically all-around country singer, bluegrass. Her roots go deep there, but she's played with many, many different people, and she's 74 years young today. On Sunday, how old do you think Robert Downey Jr. is?
58.
A little high. He's 56 on Sunday. And Eddie Murphy is having a birthday tomorrow.
Really?
Yes.
Now, how old is Eddie? Does it say?
Yep.
I don't even know how. 63.
An even 60.
60.
Yep.
Turning 60.
And he actually came out here just recently and showed himself again. He's been pretty under the radar lately, but he was performing again here lately. I don't know if we'll see him again, but he's still very funny.
Yeah.
Dumby and all the different Saturday Night Live skits. And
Yeah, he has portrayed some very classical characters over the years, that's for sure.
it is Pop Goes the 70s Day today.
Oh, good.
That'll make many of you happy or some of you sick. That's what we're doing.
Now, what we should have done was we should have done this yesterday and said that we're going to change the format of KBBN on and see if they figured out it was April Fool's.
Yeah, I wanted to just say something about that from yesterday, Brent, real quick. I just don't know why this crew was picking on you yesterday. I just don't understand that. They were making short jokes, basically, with live reads, bringing in live reads and deceiving you to think you're reading a live read, and it was really a self-inflicted wound that you were reading
Pretty
about
much.
your height. What would cause them to do that? That's just terrible. I don't know why anyone would pick on you. I just don't understand it.
There are so many things that I want to say right now, but I'm going to take the high road.
Okay.
I don't know, but I do know sometimes it is said that staff members follow the lead of the leader, and I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm glad to hear you're taking the high road. That's got to feel really good being up there for a change.
then you're gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money, you can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch, girl, but it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Say money, money won't get you too far, get you too far.
On what's important to you. We'll use an established process to create a personalized financial strategy backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track. Contact me at 308-872-6849. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
8:05, 39 degrees outside under a mostly clear sky. Winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10. We've had gusts up to 15 this morning already. Barometric pressure leveling off at 30.02. Humidity at 65%. High yesterday here at KCNI KBBN, 63. Noticed out at the airport they had a high of 64. That seems to be the trend between here and there. Overnight low of 36. Sun set today at 8:04. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:19. And the rain gauge has been dry. So far this early portion of April. We ended up 4 inches and 86 hundredths for the month of March, which was pretty nice. You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. As promised, our first guests are in, and we're excited to bring Randy Jenkins and Vicki Jenkins in from Grazier Solutions and Supply. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yes, we were just alluding to the fact that we all are here, which is a good thing, right?
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You know, Brett and I were talking, knowing that you were coming, about your business, what all it provides for your customers out there, and we want to get into that in just a little bit. But this is a very special anniversary for your business, which is 20 years old. Is that correct?
20 years. Yeah, here in April.
And that doesn't seem possible at all. But you've probably, we talked earlier about being in business early on and getting people to know what you're actually offering. And it took a little while, I suppose, to get that across to people to see if they wanted to use your products and services. So talk about how you got started in this, Randy.
There's really quite a lengthy story to this that I'm not going to bore you with all that. People can go to our website, graziersolutions.com, and that's all pretty well spelled out there. But long story short, this is derived from my passion for intensive grazing that started in 1998. In 2001, I felt the need for there to be someone providing the electric fence and stock water products for people of like mind. Started going to, we put the word out there, started going to shows, particularly the Farm and Home Show here. And it was an interesting, it's been an interesting journey. Started out with hand-painted signs at those shows, not really knowing what we're doing, but proved something to ourselves that I think anybody contemplating going into business needs to really think about, that if you are not prepared to for 3 years, for the duration, to be able to sustain yourself and gather the clientele, get your name out there, then I'd encourage people, don't even start. It takes 3 years minimum to get yourself established. We've proved that, we've seen that, we've lived that. I don't think that's probably any big news, but it certainly was to us.
Mm-hmm. And Vicki, we go back to the Farm and Home Show, and you mentioned that the first interview we did with you at the Broken Bow Armory when the show was there, and you guys had your first year there. I was getting ready to do an interview, and Randy was probably visiting with somebody or couldn't get to the interview, and I picked on you and
did.
threw you under the bus. And at that time, like you said, we didn't know very much when we first started. And I imagine you're kind of the, how do I want to put it, the organizer behind the scenes and probably the bookkeeper and all of that sort of thing.
I am the bookkeeper, and I do a lot of talking on the phone to our main office in Texas. I talk to a lot of the dealers on the phone. We have 30-plus dealers now in Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming. And so I spend my days doing that. And Randy's not good on computer, so I spend a lot of time on it.
All right, great team then.
Yeah, we are.
And by the way, I know you probably realize this, but not every husband and wife can work together.
That's correct.
So-
And we do well because he's kind of over at the warehouse and I'm at the house, and we would get along fine anyway.
Yeah,
but
you would.
we
I
do
know you
fine.
would. Yeah.
We have our roles pretty well defined. We joke about it that she's the CEO and the CFO, and I'm the salesman and the stock boy, and it kind of works out that way.
Yeah.
We have our roles defined, and again, she does a wonderful job in the office. We build her a nice home office, and she spends a goodly part of each day there, placing orders, tracking orders, talking to our dealers, and it has worked well. It has given us the opportunity to work together and grow a business that has been beneficial not only to us, but hopefully, and it was our goal, be beneficial to the farmers and ranchers of central Nebraska.
Yeah.
And beyond.
And beyond. And you were kind of ahead of the curve, really, when you think about it. People working at home, using computers and the telephone, and staying put in your own environment. There was some of that going on with the cottage businesses and that sort of thing, but here we are now where, I don't know if it's half the workers in the country right now are still working from home, and you guys did that 20 years ago, so that's kind of speaks for itself as well. Brett asked me before we went on the air, what exactly does Randy and Vicki offer? How does it work out there in the pasture? Maybe for our audience, I know the farmers and ranchers out there understand intensive grazing practices probably for the most part, but for our listeners out there, would you kind of give an overview of what all this entails?
20 years ago, it was a somewhat new thing with most of the technology for it coming out of Argentina and New Zealand. Had the opportunity to attend a 2-day grazing school in 1998, where I literally sat on the edge of my seat knowing I'd found what I was looking for. It was one of those lights-on moments, something that literally changed the direction that we were going. I still get kind of goosebumps about it because it definitely was a lights-on moment for me. What we offer is, again, the electric fence and stock water products to help people cross-fence their pastures or perimeter fences, anything that involves electric fence or stock water, primarily with the goal in mind of doing some sort of a controlled grazing or developing some sort of a controlled grazing system to get better utilization out of their pastures, carry more animals on the same acres, utilize their grass better. Consequently, also we see a better diversity of grasses that evolve because of that. Boils down to really a system of use and rest. That's what any controlled grazing system is. It's a system of use and rest. And it never hurts to throw in some rain.
Yeah.
There you go. Now I'm thinking about, of course, this is cattle country. A lot of grazing with the cattle. But does this as effective for other types of livestock? Horses, for instance, they're pretty hard on grass. They never quit eating.
Yeah, it has become much more prevalent in the equine industry. Sheep also. Any of the grazing animals certainly can be utilized in this system. Matter of fact, in some situations, my cousin Jim's, for instance, is using sheep now to follow the animals, the cattle, excuse me, and also using those as a way to clean up the pastures. So, any grazing type animal can be utilized in these systems.
All right. Vicki, you started in the office and you, like I said, were ahead of the curve. Either one of you jump in here, but it just seems like in the last 10 years, maybe, you can help me with the time period, but the farming practices that we used to think were way out there, that people wouldn't, do low-till and all the different ways to build the soil that people are talking about now, cover crops, and this grazing methods that you're talking about. It took some time, not only for you to get that business up to full speed, but to get people to think outside the box a little bit. And now some of that seems normal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It did take time, and it even took time for me to think outside the box. When Randy started doing this and thinking about it, I thought he was crazy, and his dad did too.
So did my banker.
Well, I just shook my head, and I was in fear and trepidation. And even starting the business, I thought, what are we doing? But I thought, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I can go work in town.
Yeah.
I'd worked in town before, and I still worked in town for several years after we started it.
Yeah, because you
So,
had to grow it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Randy, what's your thoughts on that? It just seems like we're thinking more about exactly what you mentioned, revitalizing the grasses, not maybe working the soil so hard when we're farming and ranching.
It's an interesting thought. What I've learned is that it seems like every generation has to relearn these things. I can remember my father doing some of the very things that I'm doing now. I witnessed it firsthand when I was real little. I didn't know what he was doing, but using the poly wires to graze forages that he'd left in the windrow that used to background steers in the wintertime. I've since found some of that, as we were cleaning up the place, found some of that old poly wire and some of the terribly ineffective energizers they used back then. I don't know how they contained animals at all, but they did. But some of that technology was being explored. The same for the no-till thing. Again, every generation, it seems like, has to rediscover it because it isn't all that new. There were people out there doing it. I used to, when we first came home to the farm, I was getting a no-till journal, and people had been doing it for years and years and years. And then it seems like it kind of, some of that fades away a little bit, and then all of a sudden there's this, we've found something new and different. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't.
Maybe refined a little bit, but
I think that's right. Refined, maybe take it to the next level, perhaps.
Yeah. My dad wanted to go down in Yellowstone Canyon a few years ago and kind of try to remember what things looked like down there when he was a kid, and I know you guys can relate to that. And he took me back in there, and he showed me, and you're probably familiar with this, but I wasn't. They had some sort, I think they did it with horses, and a particular tool that would roll the sod up, and they'd actually make a fence in the pasture out of the sod or soil they would roll up. And I think they probably did that, to contain the animals to where they could care for them, so it goes clear back to that in a way.
That's a long ways back.
That's a long ways back.
Long
Yeah.
ways.
Long ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was really, really interesting. I don't know. You keep them confined so you know where they're at as well.
And that's one of the pluses with a controlled grazing system. Again, I've talked about more animals on the same acres, the diversity of the grass. I just consulted with a young man southwest of Callaway on a fencing project, and one of his main concerns was his time's limited. This pasture is so rough, and it's hard to find the animals. It's just going to save him time, having them a little bit more confined where he can find them easier. Anything you do, I tell my customers this, anything you do with a controlled grazing system is a plus, but you have to start. That was the whole thing with us. You had to start. You had to start putting in your first fence, and you had to look at where you want the next fence in, and you have to figure out where you want your water put, or if it isn't already strategically located. it's not a perfect science, but it's something that as you go along with this and you grow with it and you become more experienced in it, and in our case, or my case particularly, I had opportunity to attend a number of field days where people were willing to share their mistakes as well as their successes. So I didn't have to go home and make the same mistakes. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was really huge. I've made plenty on my own, plenty of mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, but. Yeah, it's a learning process. And again, it's not a perfect science. We have too many variables. Too hot, too cold, not enough rain, too much rain, too many cattle, not enough cattle. I mean, it's just, but you flow with it. And you learn to read the grass, calculate the number of animals you can have for however many days. And but I'm such a see-the-pants type person. My strengths are in that I can be out there, I can read the grass, I know when to move the animals. There are people that have it all calculated. They can measure the grass. They can know how many animals of what weight can be there for so long, and actually have systems where you can clip and measure the grass and so forth. That's not me. That just isn't me. I had to learn to do it on the fly, so to speak.
Hands-on kind of.
That is exactly right.
Yeah. Well, Vicki, it's clear that Randy's very passionate about this, and he might have seemed crazy in the beginning, but I think he's making sense now, don't you?
It's been a good journey, and he does make sense now. It all makes sense. We've come a long ways.
Yeah. Customer base has come a long ways, too, which has got to be rewarding. I wanted to go back real quick to the grazing part. Sometimes you're driving down the country road and you see a pasture with little teeny trees, and you think to yourself, why don't they go out and get those trees right now? Because they're going to, what they're going to do. You look at the other pasture and it's full of larger trees. Can this help in that area, Randy, as far as grazing?
I have read studies where high stock densities, where they can go in and use hoof and tooth action to destroy some of those little trees. I have seen also studies where they've used goats, where they can go in and goats will defoliate those trees and will help. Having not done it myself, I don't know how totally effective it is. I have been on field days where have seen people using goats to control leafy spurge and some things like that. I had a customer that built a business around that and actually did a lot of the cleanup for NPPD and some other places. We were fortunate to be able to sell her as a lady quite a little of equipment to go into that. So I was very much intrigued and that I had the opportunity to be on site with her and see how she was doing it. You don't consider goats to be orderly, but the way she had it fashioned, it was just a very orderly transition. It worked very well for her.
We know from having Magnolia, the goat, that they're not real orderly. They do like to get on top cars. We noticed that.
Yeah.
But if you have
they're
them,
tough to lead around by hand. I know that.
So this is a great story, and 20 years just doesn't seem possible. But I guess as we get a little older, it seems like more and more often we're going, geez, that was just 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And I know you've made a lot of friends in 20 years that you probably wouldn't have made if you wouldn't have got into this.
I tell people that we literally have the best customers that you could have anywhere. There are very few of my customers that I would not tell them just to go into my warehouse, take what they need, and write it down. We're so fortunate in Central Nebraska to have just the salt of the earth people that are trustworthy. And yes, we've built relationships with these people. We were fortunate in the regard that we had a sales rep that came on board and just plugged us in every place across north central Nebraska, southern, south central, western Nebraska, then into Wyoming and Colorado. Literally got us on the map. And then he went to bats for us and got us distributor status, which I'm still marvel how that happened. So our relationships have furthered by that because we have dealers that we're just fortunate to have the dealer base that we do. It's a God thing. It wasn't about us. It wasn't something that just happened because we were there. But just everything fell in place. The dealer network we have, some of the best people that you could ever imagine. You know, we're fortunate right here. We've got Evans. You know, we go over to Callaway. We got AgriBest Feeds. We go to Loop City, Scientific Farm and Ranch. We go up to Grint's. You know, we've got a young man down at Mason City. Seth Barron's, Barron's Livestock Supply. I mean, that's just here, you know, and then we branch out and go as far northeast as Plainview, across Highway 20, pick up a lot of little towns in there. West go as far as Wheatland, Wyoming.
Wow.
Wheatland and Douglas, and then into Colorado. We got several dealers in the Springs area and in eastern Colorado. It's been good. We have developed some really neat relationships.
Sounds like it. Gosh, the time is flying by here. I think we could talk about this for a long time because it's so important to this area. You did bring something into the studio that looks kind of powerful.
Just as a part of our 20th anniversary, it's a giveaway. Anybody that comes, calls to wish us happy anniversary, or just makes contact with us, we're going to put their name in a hat for our newly designed S500 solar energizer. They've been extremely popular. No purchase required. You know, it's just something we want to do for our customer base.
And go ahead, Brent.
Can I ask a quick question?
Certainly.
One of my go-to questions is always how technology impacts things. 20 years ago, the products and equipment that you were using to put these practices in place, how have those products changed in 20 years? Maybe become more efficient or whatever?
I think the big thing, Brent, is we've seen the use of a whole lot more solar. We literally do an immense amount of solar. I build we build some in-house things ourselves. I build a carry caddy unit where I mount a solar panel in it, hang the energizer on the back of it, build 3 sizes of those. In a year's time, I may build 100 of those. In November and December of last year, I went through 50 alone. It's just the solar thing is just huge, and it's been adapted to our fencing systems. It's been a real plus. It's just really good. The technology, the big technology for electric fencing has come out of New Zealand. We're catching up here in the States, but the technology with our energizers has gotten better too. Our fencing system, we use a lot more fiberglass post type products in our fencing systems today instead of the steel from the past. Just those are kind of the major things, but it's all been positive.
Yeah.
All right. And so again, before we close, they just need to have a chance at winning this unit. They call you or stop in and just get registered?
Yep. Okay. We'll just put their name in the hat, and at the end of April we'll draw, and it's just something we wanted to do. And you want to kind of close for us with a thank you?
Yeah, I would like to thank our customers because without our customers, we wouldn't have anything. You know, without our customer base. And so I want to thank everybody that has helped us through the years. We do hope you will come out to the ranch and see us during the month of April. I don't know. Just if you want to call us, that's great. 308-880-2050 is Randy's cell phone. The office and house phone is 308-872-6691.
And for folks out there who don't know where you're located, where will they find you?
Off of the curve west of town, it's about 7.5 miles to
On the Rhino Road?
On the Rhino Road, yeah.
Okay. That's a good area.
Easy to find.
4 generations, if that means anything.
Means a lot.
We're still there.
There is a sign there, so.
Good, bad, or otherwise.
That's all good. Thanks so much for coming in and making us a part of your 20-year anniversary.
Thank
It's
you.
a great story.
Thank you, Dave and Brent.
Yeah,
It's
been fun.
Feels good to talk about good things, doesn't it?
It does.
Yep. Thank you.
We'll take
you.
the time out and continue. I think Rick Nelson's here. He's probably going to be a little upset about all the solar power since he's wanting to sell electricity.
That's true.
No, they've actually put up solar panels, so it works for everybody. We'll take a break.
Nebraska State Bank knows that being in control of your debit cards has never been more important. So they offer the Card Valet app. Save time while gaining peace of mind. Get alerts on your debit card transactions. Lock your card instantly when needed. Manage your spending with purchase limits and block international usage. Just a few of the awesome features. Download the Card Valet app in the Apple or Google stores. Learn more about simplifying your banking. Stop by, call, or visit nesb.bank. Nebraska State Bank and Trust Company, member FDIC. Pearson Physical Therapy in Broken Bow is seeking a caring, high-energy individual to assist in patient care as a physical therapy technician. Responsibilities include assisting physical therapists with non-clinical tasks, helping patients move through the clinic, keeping treatment areas clean, stocked, and organized, as well as assisting patients with light exercises. High school diploma required, college student or college graduate with previous clinical experience preferred. Wage dependent on experience. Send a cover letter and resume to pearsonphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. The Quilting Shack in Broken Bow is excited for the Quilters Rule Nebraska Shop Hop. Make sure you head in and pick up your Shop Hop bags now. There's a limited amount available. 19 quilt stores from east to west in Nebraska will be a part of the Shop Hop from April 8th to the 30th. Susie and the Quilting Shack staff would love to tell you more. For your quilting or sewing project, get what you need at the Quilting Shack, East Highway 2, Broken Bow. Just closed Sunday and Monday.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
/work. /work.
Yes.
Did you get that? /work.
Yeah, you bet.
We want to thank Randy and Vicki Jenkins for stopping by to help celebrate their 20th anniversary of Grazer Solutions and Supply out on Rhino Road. You can stop by there and see them and take a look at the warehouse and some of the products they have and visit with them and also register for that great prize. Or you can call them and do that at 880-2050. That's Randy's cell, or 872-6691. That'll get you into Vicky's office. But we appreciate them stopping by today. Now we have Rick Nelson here looking sharp again. He's got his suit coat on and his blue shirt and Levi's and cowboy boots.
Looking electric as always.
Always, just light you up. I don't make everybody's day brighter.
So you wanna flip right down that. So actually, I'm in black, which is a universal color for coal and carbon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I thought it was for the downtrodden. Well, maybe never mind.
let's
Rick.
jump right off the cliff.
Yeah, let's jump. That's right. That's right.
No.
Well,
No,
if you
no.
don't mind me kind of leading you astray here for a moment.
I'd love to.
Okay. I thought it was interesting. Randy was telling us a moment ago how much solar has changed the fencing industry. And, you know, we kind of made a joke, well, that'll probably make Rick a little upset because he likes to sell electricity. But you guys have dived into solar here in Custer County. Custer County has a real presence in solar energy.
Oh, absolutely. So if we add them all up, we've got the third largest total solar in the state. So that's
yeah.
Well, that's until OPPD gets their big project done. But Custer was actually the leader in the state for a year or two until LAS finished theirs. But yeah, it's kind of solar's okay. Solar's good, and a solar fencer is almost better than being plugged in.
Well, that's more portable, that's for sure. Yeah.
Solar on a stock well is almost better than us building line to it.
Do a lot of folks? It's kind of an interesting subject too, because Randy was talking about where you put your water is very important when you're pasturing livestock. A strategic place to put that water makes a difference on productivity with, you know, the grass and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big deal. But do a lot of people want to have electricity backup and use the solar? I mean, I know they don't get water, they're in trouble, right?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. So it's the majority of the time it's either solar or it's electric.
It's one or the other.
One or the other.
Okay.
But along the same lines, you can't, you know, a lot of these guys can't control where the well's actually been dug for a long time.
Yeah.
But you know, we have a lot of customers going up into the sandhills that actually got tens of hundreds of miles of pipeline, water pipe, and then they can put it where they need it, where it's best for grazing and all that fun stuff. So you can't control where Granddad put the well in, but you can control where you put a pipe in. So that kind of goes along with that grazing philosophy of trying to get the best out of your grass.
And so, in other words, if they have a well that just by chance Granddad put at the end of the pasture,
or the best place he could find,
where he could hit water at
Yeah,
that time, get deep enough to get water. Then you've got the options of laying some underground electricity or
Right.
the underground pipe to transfer that water.
Underground pipe, yep.
Now, if you're going to do that, I would imagine you're going to push water. You're going to need electricity to.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than what probably solar would want to do.
Yeah.
If you're just dumping into a tank, solar works great. If you got to pump it a long ways, then it's probably not. So we ran into issues going back to February when we had some breakers open up because of a blackout situation that I think we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, the bigger problem is, and I'm listening to some of my counterparts in other districts, and you know they've got a this generating or this plant, and they got this ethanol plant, and they got this, and they got that. And I'm sitting back going, well, I got customers that have 100 miles of water pipe in the ground, and if I shut them off for an hour at minus 36, it's probably a pretty good chance it's going to freeze.
Yeah.
So, you know, you pick your poison. What's worse? And having hundreds of miles of water line freeze, I think might be a little worse than shutting down a plant. Although some plants, you know, it's a little blip and they're off for half a day. I get that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, you think when you do underground pipe and that sort of thing, and I guess I'm thinking about the smaller pipe from tank to tank now.
Right.
You know, the guys who lay it know how deep they need to go, but sometimes you can't fathom 37 below zero for very long.
No.
If it stayed that way for very long, it might not be deep enough.
It might, and It was a little blip on the radar.
Yeah.
So it may not have had it. It certainly had an effect on anything above, 3 feet. But yeah.
It goes back to what we almost always return to when you come in, Rick, is when we flip that switch on, whatever it may be, whether lights or equipment or industry or farming, we need that juice.
Yeah.
We got to have it.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of needing that juice, remind me to talk a little bit about some work we need to do on the West Table Tower. Just remind me to talk about that, because we need to make some changes with our antennas, and that creates an opportunity for us to climb to the top.
Oh.
While I'm thinking about it, I just wanted to
talking
make
about
sure.
the tower that we're on?
Right.
Well, maybe we can Kalaka.
Yeah,
Kalaka with a friend. You remember that when you Kalaked it with a friend? You got in a car and commuted together and saved money and energy.
So the term clocked has got me confused.
I've never heard it before. I have no idea.
Well, you're still
what he
worried about
means.
frostbite and hypothermia. So.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Kalaka with a friend mean like commute together and work together.
Now,
Really?
commute, I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kalaka.
Just go with it, Rick. You're okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to have to do some repairs on our coax that runs our heaters up there. So we're going to have somebody climbing the tower this summer. Maybe we can Kalaka.
Maybe we could. It would be better if we could Kalaka on Monday.
Oh, then that won't work.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you guys are way ahead of us. We were just glad to get through the winter before the coax kind of went south on us.
Remember, it's only the beginning of April.
Don't say that. I'm knocking on wood on this one.
Yeah.
But you're going to go up Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
So anyway, my point of bringing that up, because we're doing a lot of stuff with communications, and there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. We're working with some people locally to get some communications out there, and so it's got a lot of fun things going on. So be looking for something coming out on that here in the next couple weeks, and that's kind of what reminded me about the towers. We need to get up and do some work on our antennas, primarily for our communication, but there's some things going on with our Broken Bow Tower here. We call it the East Tower there by
the
John
old
Deere
drive-in
dealer.
theater?
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the drive-in theater. So anyway.
Does that mean you're gently saying I might have to turn the power off Monday?
Well,
is that a gentle way of
maybe
kind of notification?
Well, like I said, we can talk about what we need to do.
Okay. Oh boy. Well, a lot of people, I think, when they look at a tower off in the distance, wherever they're at, they think, "Oh, that's got lights on it, and it must be for one thing."
Mm-hmm.
But the towers that you own and a lot of other towers, multiple tasks going on out of there.
So State Patrol, we do a lot of collaboration, a lot of Kalaka.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Custer County Communications. They're just we've got a lot of people on our towers, and it's kind of joint effort to get communication out to all these entities, and we're just happy to be a part of it. So
you still have the National Weather Service up west?
It's been a while since that name's come up. I think so, but I think something changed there.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were still up there or not. But you've got actually all kinds of services you provide off of different towers.
We've got State Patrol on quite a few towers, and the statewide network is up on the Thedford Tower, and so there's a lot of Region 26.
Okay, I was going to ask you.
Is up there too, and we're on the tower north of Sargent, so lots of things happening there.
Is there any way you could get us the State Patrol feed audio because we'd sure like to know what's going on. Our news department would love
mostly where they're located, maybe when we have to drive somewhere.
Yeah, so that location service isn't real public.
It's not available. I
You-
wasn't going to go there, Brent.
You have, yeah, right. Whatever.
Sometimes I'm late to a game, so I wasn't afraid to go there.
Well, I was trying to do what Rick was doing about turning the power off, negotiating and starting with, we could use that information for news. You jump right in and destroy the whole presentation.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the truth comes out.
Yeah, always. Always.
Oh, you guys have a scanner. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Anyway. But like I said, we're pretty excited about there's some things coming to the outskirts of Broken Bow, and had some conversations this week, and things are happening, so that's a good thing. By the way, we had a board meeting last week.
But before you go to the board meeting, you're teasing us here again. You're doing one of those tease things.
What?
Yeah. Like with when you had the deal over at Arnold with Page Wireless.
Huh.
Yeah, you teased us on that. This was a little tease on upcoming communication things, I think.
Really?
Yeah. How was your board meeting?
Well, yeah, just like Brent, you're not that slow to the ball game, are you?
Strike two.
Oh shoot. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, the board meeting. The board meeting was good. It's one of those board meetings that you look at the agenda and you're like, oh my goodness, do we have to do that again? It's a no, seriously.
I hear you.
It's a reviewed board policies, reviewed the articles of incorporation. I'm sure, if you look at that, you think, oh boy, what's this going to? But in the board policies, it says that we will do that annually with the board, and I think it's a great opportunity. In 2020, we took the opportunity to look at every individual board policy, and from the board's due diligence, I commend them on going through each one and making sure that it's up to date. It'd been 10, 12 years since we took a deep dive, and it was just time for a deep dive. So we did that in 2020, and then we come back, and one of the things that's kind of hitting, in the state, it's probably behind the scenes, but is participation on other boards. So, we spent a little time talking about that. So some of our directors are on a statewide board, and some are on a G&T board. And when you're on those boards, you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence for the organization that you're representing, but also at the end of the day, you want to be able to say that you did the best for the organization that you're the board member on.
Sure.
And so some of that may or may not conflict with the organization you're representing on that board. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but if you're on that G&T board, which is generation transmission, that's our wholesale power. If you're on that board, then you want to make the decision that's best for that board.
Well, also,
which might ding a little Custer Power, but in the long run, it's best for that organization. So that's some of the conversation that we had to, we didn't have to have, but that we ended up having was, and I think it's good for all boards to take a look at that every once in a while and make sure that they're doing what they are charged to do and do their due diligence, and so that's what we like to do. Although, like I started with, if you look at the agenda, you think, oh, wow, that'll be exciting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing about that, participating on other boards, you glean some information back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
And stay in tune. Now, here's a question, though I have. You got a Bartok on that board?
Mr. Bartok,
yeah,
yes.
Mr. Bartok. Do those guys, when they go to those other meetings, does he get steak, like for a steak dinner or something like that when they meet on those boards? Because I'm I purchased public power.
Yes.
For KBBN.
Yes.
And I would really prefer he only had chicken when he was.
Well,
I really want him to have steak.
So we run into an issue there because some people are allergic to chicken, and so they have to have beef instead of the yard birds that float around every once in a while. But
how about for Mr. Bartok a veggie burger?
Yeah,
that's got to hurt.
Wow.
I think I'm going off on my island. Dave's on his own on this one, man.
I think it might be just time to sit back and relax a
Okay,
little bit.
all right, I'll back off. I just as I was going to say a taxpayer, but this doesn't have to do with. I mean, we purchase power.
Absolutely.
And if Mr. Bartok's at a meeting, I prefer he had chicken.
Well, like I said, some people are allergic to chicken, but I'll have you know when we do have steak, it's dry and it's not very good.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't buy that for a moment. And also, if they get a lot of good red meat and proteins, they're going to be more aggressive in the meetings.
And your point is?
Well, they feel better. They feel stronger. They got the beef in there, and then they go in the meeting and they get a little, more energy.
Yeah, and they might be able to show up at the radio station with a higher temperature than 94 degrees.
Well, yes. Rick came in. The deal there is you got to wait just about 10 minutes before you take your temperature.
Well, there's no sign that says that.
Well,
and if I wait 10 minutes, then I contaminated everybody if I had a fever.
Yeah, good point.
Well, what we'll do on that, Brent, when we have our next meeting, review our policies.
Board policies, yeah, there you go. Exactly.
We'll insert that in there.
Yeah.
You're doing your due diligence.
Thank you.
Yep.
In fact, not too long, we found the board policies from 1988, I think.
Wow.
Isn't this from 88?
That's the most current, yes.
Was Brent alive at that point?
What do you mean, was Brent alive? Yes.
Born? Oh.
How
I know
old do you
Dave.
think
I know
I
Dave
am?
was. Well,
he might have been in.
You spoon feed a compliment.
I'd look back. So, anything more on the?
Yeah, where were we?
Anything more on the board meeting, Rick?
No.
Could I ask you another question? Then?
Yes.
It's not about chicken or steak or Mr. Bartok.
And being allergic. Yep.
Yeah. He might be allergic to chicken, but that's another whole subject.
Yeah.
How's things going on I know that you're very adamant last time you were here about bringing the lineman competition to Custer County. Have you made any progress there?
Well, yes.
Good.
And we have a meeting, I believe, next Thursday. And I'll know more after that meeting about some more details. Meeting with the Fair Board and some of the people involved there, so we'll have some more details. But it's likely we're going to have an opportunity to bring it to Custer County, and I'm excited. I had a meeting this week about it down in New York on Tuesday, and like I told the committee. I don't care so much that Custer Power is here and that we may or may not be helping a little bit. They've got a lot of resources behind them. So, but my concern was if nobody steps up to the plate and we don't have another rodeo for another year, I think that's problematic. And so I just wanted to make sure the doggone thing happened. So we're going down that path, and we got a commitment that probably sometime in July we're gonna have a one-day rodeo. We have the potential of having 40 or 50 teams here, which is a little bit higher than the state fair outcome. We have that potential. We have the potential of 2 nights lodging. We have the potential of food. And so we got a lot of things that we need to kick around yet, but it's looking good from the Nebraska Lineman Rodeo Committee and organization. So I'm really excited.
Good. That's good to
I'm really,
hear.
really excited.
Well, we appreciate you, making the efforts to bring it here. And you have, I guess you shouldn't look back, but you got to scratch your head and say, why wouldn't the state fair want something that brings that many people in for an event? All things considered, what's going on with the state fair, but that's behind us now. You're moving forward.
Yeah, so that's probably 300 or 400 tickets that they're not going to sell. They might sell those, but they had to buy them to get into the gate. So
yeah. Well, we're really appreciative that you're doing this. This is going to be cool. And what time frame are you thinking about, or do you know yet?
Late July. We've got a date, but like I said, we haven't talked to
pinned it down.
Yeah, the fair board and some of those people. So we don't have that nailed down.
Okay,
but we're excited. I got people already kind of working on some planning. We got some rooms blocked off. We got some fun things happening. It's going to be good, and Custer County is going to be able to shine, and we're pretty excited.
Well, tell you what, if we can help you with promoting it, would be so much fun to get a bunch of people to see that haven't. State fair is great, but you maybe don't make the trip down there, and this is going to be right here in our backyard to get people to come and watch it and have a big crowd.
Yep. So we have it set up. Hopefully, we'll be able to use the grandstands as a showcase, and I think there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of opportunity for years to come.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that sounds great.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. I can also imagine maybe before and after the event itself, you have Mr. Maddox that works out there fry some or cook some of those hot dogs from the inside out.
Absolutely.
On a safety demonstration.
Maybe all the hot dogs cooked by the 4-H kids will be done inside out.
You ever seen that?
I've heard you talk about that demonstration many times. I've never seen it personally.
It's an eye-opener.
But I would like to see it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, do I have an opportunity for you?
Really? Thanks, Rick.
So the good news is the Halsey camp is going on. It's going to be July 19th through the 23rd. You can still register on our website, or you can pick up applications. I think this would be a great opportunity to get Brent up there, because we have that show twice for the kids at the camp.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
What does he have to do?
Well, he has to participate and probably have a microphone in front of him.
Oh.
Well, of course.
All right.
And he has to climb a pole.
This I want to see.
Really? That's kind of in my blood. My dad has climbed a lot of poles in his life, so it's kind of in my blood. I think I could do it.
We'll see what your knees look like 6 foot off the ground.
Well, wait a minute.
It's a great opportunity.
How high is this pole going to be, Rick, that I have to climb?
It's a short pole.
Okay.
We only let the kids go up about 3 or 4 feet, but in your case, since you have this lineage, I think
if my dad's listening, he is rolling his eyes right now. It's like, in fact, my dad's going, I'd like to come see this.
Yeah, he'll drive up to see that.
Yeah, I'll make sure that it's some type of Facebook Live. And
great.
We'll get that going.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about, honestly, is we know that we are looking at brighter days ahead as far as the pandemic goes. We also know that there's always that possibility that we could have some troubles, but it looks good. And so some of the things that you weren't able to do last year are going on as planned, such as this, right?
Such as this, yeah. Now, it really breaks my heart, but we're not going to have the D.C. trip in June this year.
Right.
And that was a culmination and a great reward for our campers. And for the second year in a row, it's going to be a virtual this year instead of completely canceled, but It's really hard to replace that.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 days, I guess, nonstop, filled with, every moment of the day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. was filled with something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little hard to replace that with the virtual meeting that lasts half a day. So, but the Hulza camp is still scheduled. It's still on. It's going. It's July 19th through the 23rd, and so we're taking applications right now. The sophomore, junior kind of age. Even a freshman, but it'd be better if it was sophomore or juniors, because there's some opportunity for leadership roles and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
The other thing is we also gave out 2 scholarships. One went to Jordan Lemberg, which is a non-traditional student, but we're excited to get
Fantastic.
To get anybody in that are motivated and really want to learn the trade and want to do what they're doing. The other one is Dylan Baum. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited about those 2 getting their scholarships, and so that's happening. Lineman appreciation is April 12th. That's in Nebraska. I know we have a hard time coordinating that with the national, which I think is sometime in that July-August timeframe, but at least in Nebraska, it's April 12th. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, those are events, and I know Taryn's in the middle of all that, so if you have questions, you can get a hold of her.
Oh, please do, because I did not do it justice. But I'm reading off her text, so that's what I'm...
So in other words, in July, we could see Brent on a stick.
Brent is going to be on a stick.
Can't wait to see that.
Which is better than the State Fair Brent on a stick.
And the Lineman's Rodeo.
Lineman's Rodeo. But he's also going to see a hot dog be fried inside out.
Yep. And Dave Lynn will probably blow up a boot, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And show you what radio tires do if the line falls on a car.
Yeah. You know what? That safety just demonstration is something everybody should see.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
And we spent the last 10, 12, 15 years training different individuals to give that, and we've just got a great group of guys. Any one of my guys can step up on that and do a great job. And Dave Lynn's been a part of that for a long, long time, along with several others. Cindy does a great job of getting that going and narrating some of that sometimes, and so everybody does a great job with it.
It's a team effort.
And there's so much information. From our perspective, it gets to be that everybody should know that, but nobody knows some of the stuff that we talk about. So it's good to keep that perspective that actually we're educating people.
All right.
It's fun.
Wow. We're out of time. Anything else before we close?
It's good to see you.
You too. I'm thinking we have a solution to the Mr. Bartok problem. As a purchaser of power, I think we can come to common ground and go with SpaghettiOs.
SpaghettiOs works.
Yeah. Reduce from steak, chicken to SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
And he could bring that can with him and warm it up for the meeting.
There you go. Unless, he's got a medical reason for not having SpaghettiOs.
This guy has all the tools, Tony.
Well, you got to think of stuff like that.
Might be allergic to chicken. He might have problems.
I've just heard some people might be allergic to chicken.
Well, okay. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks. Have a great week.
You too, man. Happy Easter to you.
Yeah, same to you.
We'll take a time out. We'll continue with news after these words.
Broad Ace Hardware is stocked up with the 2021 Toro self-propelled mowers, ready to help make your lawn beautiful. Exciting news, this year the 60-volt self-propelled bagging mowers are cordless. No more messing with gas. Don't worry about these batteries. They mow for 45 minutes on a single charge and start at just $469. Gas self-propelled Toros start at $369. And for the trim work, leave it to a steel cordless trimmer for just $199. And never mix fuel again. Get your yard in shape with Hots Ace Hardware in Broken Bow.
Hop in and see the crew at Bow Bootery on the Square. They are so excited for spring. They would love for you to check out the sandal styles they have, plus they're marked 20% off. Sandals and Easter outfits go hand in hand. Finish off your cute outfit with sandals. Need to fill an Easter basket? Flip-flops are perfect to put inside. Spring-style choices galore await you at Bow Bootery. They hope you have a blessed Easter and look forward to seeing you soon.
Cattlemen, spring is here and things are starting to green up. But alongside the good green like pasture grass and trees come the bad greens, musk thistles, mullenweed, buckbrush, and other weeds. Let Aero Aviation help you get the bad green under control this spring. They use the latest in aircraft and GPS technology and crop protection products while keeping the good green in your pocket. Call Casey, Melissa, or Kim today and schedule spring spraying with Aero Aviation, 872-5113.
Listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. A new sign the economy is healing. Employers added 916,000 jobs in March. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says hospitality led the way.
There were also jobs created in arts and entertainment and recreation areas. And education saw hiring as in-person learning resumed across many parts of the country.
Unemployment was down to 6%. The Minneapolis police chief takes the stand at Derek Chauvin's murder trial today. City Council member Jeremiah Ellison tells CBS he's looking ahead.
No matter what the outcome is, we still have issues here in our city, and we've got to be working really hard to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Tragedy in Taiwan. At least 48 people are dead after a driverless car rolled into a train. The BBC's Cindy Sue says some are still unaccounted for.
Making the rescue effort especially difficult is that this is a narrow tunnel. 8 cars on this train are so mangled and so badly damaged that the rescuers have a hard time getting inside.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Deb Carson.
The men's Final Four is coming up Saturday from Indianapolis, but tonight it is the women's Final Four from San Antonio. First game pits 2 number 1 seeds against each other. Stanford taking on South Carolina at 6 Eastern, and that's followed by 1 seed UConn taking on 3 seed Arizona at 9:30 Eastern. Major League Baseball's opening day was Thursday. 26 of the 30 teams were in action. The Nationals and Mets were postponed due to COVID-19 protocols with Washington. Red Sox-Orioles game at Fenway Park was pushed back because of the weather. But among Thursday's highlights, Clayton Kershaw had a rough opening day, went 5 2/3 innings, surrendering 5 earned runs off of 10 hits. Rockies beat the Dodgers 8-5. Angels spoiled the return of Tony La Russa as the White Sox manager, beating Chicago 4-3.
Here's your weatherology forecast. High temperatures climbing into the mid-70s for today. We'll see lots of sunshine with breezy south to southwest winds at 12 to 25. Then for tonight, mostly clear, a low in the upper 30s. For Saturday, again, lots of sun, reaching a high of 78, and even warmer into your Easter Sunday, reaching 84. For Monday, sunny to partly cloudy conditions, low 80s. For the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Carroll.
News and weather was brought to you today by Custer Electric and Irrigation in Broken Bow. Do you find yourself struggling to find gearboxes, center drives, or other much-needed parts as we get closer to irrigation season? Never fear, Custer Electric is here. They currently have a large supply on hand of these and all other irrigation and electrical parts, so stop by to stock up. Speaking of irrigation season, are those pivots ready to turn on and run full steam ahead? Or are you in need of a new sprinkler package? Call Custer Electric to schedule your inspections. Buy 3, get the 4th labor-free, and Lance's inspection process will leave you with the peace of mind you need at the cost you desire. Did you know that as the only walk-in electrical store in town, Custer Electric and Irrigation carries a large supply on hand of motors, fuses, capacitors, and so many more electrical supplies? They have a large supply of Balder motors on hand and do all motor repairs, including motor rewinds. Don't leave town to find much-needed parts or services. Call Custer Electric today at 872-7786 for these and so much more. Check them out on Facebook or at custerei.com. Custer Electric and Irrigation. Experience the difference.
9:09, 44 degrees outside. More pop goes the 70s in just a little bit. Have you dyed your Easter eggs yet?
Have not, no. Have a feeling might do a few this weekend. But I have we've not embarked on that project yet.
When you do you use crayons to make special designs before you dye them?
No, not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think sometimes the kids use those, markers that will block out, the area on the egg, so that when you dye them, then that part is left undyed.
Yeah.
And so, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and you can use a crayon as well.
Oh.
You get a little more color. It doesn't just stay white, but the dye doesn't stick there.
Mm-hmm.
You can make all kinds of designs.
Yeah.
Scenic portraits, protest signs, whatever you want. Whatever you want to put on your egg, you can.
It sounds like maybe you and your family have embarked on that. Have you done that with Oliver?
Yep.
Oliver's getting older. Is he still into dyeing the Easter eggs and
certainly,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
I think we did a couple dozen. The only thing I will say that eggs are kind of weird. They're in a shell, right? So they're enclosed.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you dye them and you put them in the fridge, and then you walk in the kitchen and you go, what's that smell? It's eggs. They're powerful.
They can be.
Well, that's a pretty worthy conversation. 9:15. Let's talk country store.
All right, we can do that.
A tradition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing what folks in our area make.
Yeah.
I mean, the handmade stuff. Isn't that the best stuff?
Yeah, because no one else is going to have anything like it.
Yeah, and they're going to showcase some of that stuff today, folks. The country store is having their spring craft fair, and it will be going on today, opening at 10 o'clock this morning, running until 5, and they're going to set up at the Veterans Memorial Building in Broken Bow. So check that out. It'll be today from 10 until 5. The Spring Craft Fair brought to you by the Country Store. And again, you can find it at the Veterans Memorial Building, 416 South First Avenue in Broken Bow. Some great handmade and homemade items for you to enjoy. So check it out at the Spring Craft Fair brought to you by the Country Store. That'll be today, April 2nd, 10 to 5 at the Veterans Memorial Building.
You like my shirt?
I do like your shirt. Dave has a T-shirt that he has kind of thrown up on his shoulders here today, and it says, "No farms, no food," and it's got a picture of a cow on it.
We're going to give that away this
Good.
morning, along with the sweepstakes promotion.
Okay.
For the gift cards.
All right.
Brought to you today by CarQuest. And so we're going to be giving the shirt away and a chance to win $250 in gift cards that you can use all around the area.
Yeah.
So
That's a good shirt to give away. I mean, we came off National Ag Week, I think. Even March into April somewhat's kind of even like Ag Month, isn't it? So that's a good shirt to give away.
That will happen towards the end of the show.
Okay.
We have a lot more pertinent information.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
It's all everything here on the Breakfast Show is pertinent. Absolutely.
And of course, entertainment. We always think of ourselves somewhat as entertainers.
Yeah, that word entertainment. That's so subjective, though. Sometimes.
Well, I've noticed
whether or not people are getting entertained.
That's what news people do when they get in trouble. They go, "Well, really, I'm an entertainer."
Oops.
Sorry, you're not. Okay. I was just going to earlier play a Janis Joplin tune for Mike Evans because he loves Janis Joplin.
Oh, he does.
But I'm not sure I think this was a late 60s tune. I'm not sure.
Oh, you don't think it'll fit into the 70s category?
I'm not sure. We might have to Google it.
You want me to Google?
Yeah, me and Bobby McGee.
Give me about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'll have an answer for you.
It was written, of course, by Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
And I think the rumor has it that Janis and Chris had a short little fling.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if it's true or not. You could ask Dick Cavett.
Now, be careful. You just said earlier in the show this is fact-checking day.
Yeah, that's right.
So be careful about throwing that stuff out there.
Okay.
Today especially.
I'll just forward it.
Okay.
Are you getting there? Are you getting there?
Well, it'll be a while, Dave. Just relax. I got to type this in. All right. Just it's a song by Janis Joplin. Me and Bob. I wonder if this will come up and give me the date on it. I'm not coming across it yet. Just hang in there.
Oh.
Just hold on. Oh, Wikipedia always. Recorded May 6th. Oh, this is really close.
Oh.
Really close. May 16th, 1969 recorded. Released in July 1969. So it's close. It's awfully close to 70.
It doesn't qualify.
All right.
Sorry. We're going to have to go to this instead.
I can see clear.
Avenue in Callaway, the Grand Generation Manor. GK Wine and Spirits is closed Easter Sunday, but make sure you see them soon to shop their aisles. Michelob Ultra 12 packs, $15.48. Handles of Admiral Nelson's rum are $16.98. And save on Windsor Canadian whiskey at $16.48. Red's Apple Variety Pack, 15 packs, are only $14.98. Plus, receive 15% off all 750 milliliter wines when you purchase 6 or more bottles. GK Wine and Spirits, inside the grocery cart in Broken Bow, East Highway 2.
As a Daikin dealer, I have the solutions you need for total home comfort. So if you want the chill of the Rocky Mountain air in your bedroom for summer, you can. Or if you prefer the warmth of the California sun this winter, that's no problem either. And if you simply desire that just right feeling of the New England coast, well, it's home comfort you decide. Daikin Air Intelligence.
Contact Taylor Heating and Cooling in Broken Bow, 872-6196.
The border is in crisis. President Trump secured the border, but Biden is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for migrants. Now, Grant Stinchfield investigates Biden's executive orders and dangerous policies. Watch Stinchfield on Newsmax TV tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern as he reveals the dangers. Find Newsmax TV on all major cable systems or get it free on Roku, YouTube, Xumo, Pluto, and smart TVs. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Help protect our border. Watch Newsmax TV's Stinchfield tonight.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Planting season is upon us, and at Doltmeyer Sales, we know things don't always go according to plan. That's why we ensure wide and deep inventories across the major brands you rely on, like Banjo, T-Jet, Hypro, Ace Rotomold tanks, Ace pumps, John Blue, Wilger, Greenleaf, Kuriyama hose, Canaflex hose, Squibb Taylor, Shield Ag, Continental NH3, and many more. Doltmeyer Sales covers the entire state of Nebraska with one-day ground transit, which means less downtime for you and your operation. Order 24/7 at Doltmeyer.com.
924. Brent Epperson has some information you can use.
Absolutely. Pizza Hut, Broken Bow. Talked to Sarah yesterday, actually. Or Wednesday, I guess it was. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. I have no idea. Anyway, we talked to her this week, and we want to first off remind you that Pizza Hut in Broken Bow will be open on Easter, but they're going to open late on Easter. Okay, so Pizza Hut in Broken Bow will not open Easter Sunday until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so you can have your Easter dinner, and then you're like, you know what? I don't want to pull stuff out. We just got done with the dishes. Let's just order pizza.
You bet.
It'll be perfect. They'll open Easter Sunday. The Pizza Hut in Broken Bow will at 4 o'clock. So we want to stress that. Also, this will be the last Friday to take advantage of their Lent special, as they're offering a $10 large cheese or veggie lovers pizza. That'll be today, and that'll be the final day of that promotion. Some other specials going on right now. $11.99 specials include stuffed crust 3-topping pizza going on until mid-May. Also a $21.99 special, which includes large 1-topping and a large specialty pizza. And then some of the neat things they do during the week. They do their Toscani Tuesday, their Wing Wednesday, and Taco Thursday, where you can get a large taco pizza for just $10. Dining room is open to full capacity. They're open 11 until 10, 7 days a week. Drive-through and delivery, looking for drivers especially to continue their delivery service. So if you're interested in joining the Pizza Hut team, especially as a delivery driver, get in there now and apply. April is the last month, by the way, to turn in your Book-Its. So kids, if you filled up a Book-It certificate and want to redeem it for a pizza and everything, April is the last month to do that. Okay. And those are some of the things happening with Pizza Hut in Broken Bow.
Call 872-5259 for an appointment now with Mid-Plains Community College. At Mid-Plains Community College, we want to be your first choice.
Oh, what we do with the water in our homes. You can make it cleaner, soft, delicious, and fantastic. Call your local Broken Bow Culligan dealers, Del Moniger and Tim Wright, at 308-872-2978. You could give your people Culligan water.
Each week, learn more about precision agriculture, ag data, and the newest technologies on the farm during the special podcast series Within an Inch of Your Farm, presented by John Deere.
Our goal here is to make it easier for a farmer to get insights from their data, from their farm. An opportunity to understand what works on my farm and what didn't work on my farm.
Within an Inch of Your Farm, highlighting the latest farming tools. Brownfield Ag News and John Deere, two of the ag industry's most trusted names, highlighting precision agriculture, ag data, and the newest technologies on the farm to get the job done in the most profitable way possible. Listen to the podcast now at withinaninchofyourfarm.com. Within an Inch of Your Farm, presented by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer.
9:30, you're listening to The Breakfast Show. Stop by the Whiskey Barrel in Broken Bow anytime, 7 days a week. They're located between Subway and Vet Care, right across the highway from Gateway Motors, right near the First Avenue stoplight. You can't miss them. And there'll be a sign with some wisdoms on the front. And you can go in and do business with some real nice people. And they pride themselves on a nice, neat store and everyday good, fair prices at the Whiskey Barrel. Now, I don't have any more information on them as far as Sunday goes. I would suspect that if you want to pick up something for company coming in as far as pop and beverages and spirits and so forth, beers, specialty beers, whatever, I would do it before Sunday. I'm just guessing maybe that they might not be open on Sunday, Easter Sunday, I would think. So just get there early. They'll take care of you. Stan and the crew at the Whiskey Barrel in Broken Bow, Nebraska.
All right. Hey, the Garden Center, it's your year-round garden center. Boy, you think people are getting in the mood to plant something this weekend? Yeah. Oh, man, with the weather today through the weekend, even into next week, going to be beautiful. The Garden Center is your year-round garden center, and they're ready for spring. No waiting around for the Garden Center. They are getting things out as soon as they come in. Garden seed is in. Be prepared to walk in and grab the seed you need to get your seedlings started. Also, sweet corn, various radish seeds, onion plants, onion sets, and seed potatoes are all in. And they also want to stress that they have some colorful pansies that are in right now as well. So check them all out at the Garden Center in Broken Bow. They're open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5:30. Also open on Saturday from 10 until 2. It's the Garden Center in Broken Bow. That's our cue to remind you that Gibbons Electric LLC of Ansley doesn't monkey around. They're ready to go to work for you for your electrical jobs, big or small. Andy will come out, give you a free estimate. You can visit about the project, kind of see what needs to be done. And it all starts with a phone call. The number to call is 308-763-1193. Don't forget, Andy has his shop location now on Main Street, Ansley, and he's ready to go to work for you with any residential, commercial, or agricultural electrical job. Offering 15 years of experience and eager to go to work for you. Call 308-763-1193 or check out their website, which is simply WeDon'tMonkeyAround.com.
All right, thank you, Brent. I do want to acknowledge a text that came in here, or email, from Shauna Hollenbeck, and she is saying some nice things and then sending out prayers for the family over in Arnold that lost all their belongings yesterday in a fire. And that's the Tullis family, and if you would like to donate, you can stop by Grazer's Bar and Pub right on the highway in Arnold. They were taking collections yesterday of not only clothing and shoes and that sort of thing, but they have a jar there for cash, and you can make your donation that way. Give them a call even if you want to make sure that you get involved in helping the family out who unfortunately had a very severe fire yesterday that destroyed their home and all their belongings going into this Easter weekend. I'm sure they'll appreciate anything that you can do. All right, this hurts a little bit, but it is a 70s pop song.
Okay, why does it hurt? What? Hey, all right. Da-da, 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 da-da.
YMCA, the Village People.
Yep.
On the Get Up and Go Breakfast
All right,
Show.
come on, raise your hand. How many of you out there were doing the motions when they said YMCA? Come on, don't be shy. Raise your hand. Okay, thanks.
Most of you.
All right.
Most of you have probably danced to that at a wedding somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of having a party.
Yes, Dave.
Henry's Beach Bar and Grill.
Oh, yeah.
In Callaway is ready to party. They're open, they're going, and they are also looking for a bartender to help people party.
Yeah, Henry's Bar in Callaway is looking for an outgoing, energetic, and friendly bartender to work evening hours, 4 p.m. to close. Henry's willing to train the right person. You can come to work at the newest bar in Custer County. A great opportunity to earn some extra income, so give Henry a call at 512-501-0457. You can also email him at henrycmoore, that's M-O-O-R-E, at yahoo.com. Willing to work with your schedule, so if you're interested, give Henry a call at 512-501-0457.
Thank you, Mr. Apperson.
or call 872-2061 if you're interested. Again, Mead Lumber in Broken Bow looking for a sales associate. If interested, stop in and talk to Dan or give him a call at 872-2061. Also, Sargent Drilling Company in Broken Bow is looking for help and is accepting applications now for full-time employment. They offer competitive wages, holiday and vacation pay, health insurance, and 401k. A good driving record is required, and a CDL is preferred. You can apply in person by swinging by their office at West Highway 2 in Broken Bow, or give them a call for more information at 872-5125. Sargent Drilling Company is an equal opportunity employer.
Thank you. Amy just sent in a message, said she couldn't help herself. She had to sway and do the dance to La Freak.
Yeah, she had to freak out.
Because she's a lady. Tom Jones, she is a lady. And what do you often do with a lady? You take the lady out and you sit down and the moonlight is out there. If you're outside, and what do? You have a pina colada.